Democratic gubernatorial frontrunner Phil Murphy hosted a town hall in North Bergen last night where he discussed a multitude of issues including improving our economy via a state bank, Donald Trump, and much, much more. In front of an audience of at least 200 people, Murphy's first speaking point was about getting through 2017, where Donald Trump will be sworn in as president in just a few days, and also Republican Governor Christie's last year in office.
There are only 2 gubernatorial elections in the United States of America this year, New Jersey and Virginia. Next year there will be 36, but this year there were 2. So if we go into this expecting that we're going to have a walk in the park, and that he who shall not be named won't want to come in and throw his weight around and throw his values and try to jam them down our throat, I think we're naive to think that. And so we're looking at, we're preparing for the worst. Okay, so and I've said on record, if I'm fortunate enough to get there, and I count my blessings if I do, I will not take orders from above that are unconstitutional or un-American. You have my word that we'll stand up to the fight. So whether it's DACA termination or the Affordable Care Act termination or cutting of social services or registering people based on their religion, discrimination of any shape or form, we've got to be prepared for the worst, and we've got to come together with a steel backbone and stand up to that. Now, one observation, which is an obvious point, and again, I come back to the Speaker, the Mayor, and others here who are doing such great work. We're going to have 1 year of a very sympathetic governor to this president, right? We're going to have Governor Christie, who was one of his first supporters, as our governor for the first year of the Trump presidency.
After talking about his past, including where his family was rubbing pennies together growing up, and eventually serving as a U.S. ambassador to Germany under President Barack Obama, Murphy again took aim at Christie. While he supports his plan to help those struggling with addiction, he said it's long overdue for the state to do something about unemployment and the broken middle class.
But the good news is when you get a STEM economy going, and you get innovation and technology, and you reclaim that healthcare space that we used to own, and telecommunications and whatnot, it's not just the doctoral jobs you create jobs up and down the food chain with enormous opportunity in particular for the middle class. So the STEM economy is something I believe we can reignite. And one of the real factors that you can see works everywhere that's been reignited is getting back to investing in institutions of higher education. You put money in R&D in an institution of higher education, you get explosive economic growth around that investment. And that's the opportunity that we've got before us. The other big engine is the infrastructure economy. You know, how big an impact would it have on Hudson County, on this community, on Bayonne, and any of the communities represented here? If you got back to doing what we used to do, investing in roads, rails, bridges, tunnels. There's no place in this state, I'd argue there's no place in this country that would benefit more from that investment.
After vowing to eliminate the pay equality gap between men and women, as well as minorities, and making college affordable, Murphy explained why his concept of a public bank could be beneficial to all New Jerseyans.
That found a bank last year, average daily cash balance from New Jersey, $1.3 billion. That bank made 3 loans through the Small Business Administration program back into New Jersey last year for a total of $220,000. Again, you don't have to be a math major. $1.3 billion, $220,000. So here's the idea. Take all those deposits and bring them back and put them in a bank that we own, the People's Bank of New Jersey. And give that, right? And that bank would have 3 lines of business. It would make small-scale infrastructural loans, working with community banks, not against them. It would make small business loans. And that would be a huge benefit in particular for urban communities, for particularly communities of color, where the biggest factor in not getting a firm started or not getting it bigger is lack of access to capital. And the other line of business, which I love, making student loans, not at loan shark rates, still commercial, but at reasonable rates. And that's a bank, that's something we could have in this state. We could set a model for the entire country.
During a short question and answer session with the audience, North Bergen Superintendent of Schools Dr. George Salter asked how Trenton could help underfunded districts like North Bergen that are non-Abbott and also do not qualify for school development funding.
And what you've been able to do, all of you collectively, given what you've been dealt, the hand you've been dealt is extraordinary, and the results show it. But the fact of the matter is, at a certain point, you need new physical plant, you need the stuff that you need these days for 21st century education. And you came up with I think, again, I don't want to, you tell me how a sensible formula, that if we had just executed on that formula, my guess is you'd be in a different place right now.
We'd be doing very well. We'd be doing very well.
And the fact of the matter is, the governor has turned his back on that, promised a lot of transition aid and whatnot, and we've underfunded that formula. I believe it is about, Matt, $8 billion. Right. I don't want to be too simplistic, but I would go back and start with dusting the old formula off, recognizing it needs to be tweaked and updated. Is that a good place to start?
That sounds great.
Okay, let's do it. All right.
I'm John Hyde. This is the Hudson County View. The eye of the community.